Hi Earthlings. Right, I'm at it again. We've got a lot of important things to reveal, and that is what I am about to do. I have a question. It is, do you think our creator is interested in politics? Do you think the creator of Earthlings is interested in politics? That is the question. Now, while you ponder that, I'd like to tell you, I'll start with one story and I'll just keep on moving on. So my first story is going to be about my thumb. And many years ago I lived in the forest, and while I was living in the forest I got quite proficient at chopping firewood, because we had wood to heat up the water, to heat up the Bremer, that's the water, and I cooked on a wood stove, and of course in the wintertime we had the wood fire. Now I got so good at it that I used to be able to grab a bundle of my these and hold it and just like cut. Okay, so I was so fast, and I was out on my veranda and I was chopping the kindling for the fire, and I put the tomahawk, I sliced my thumb like whew, and oh my goodness, please don't do this to me again. Okay, great. Now what happened was I have a scar. That is my scar from the tomahawk, and it goes straight up, right up through the nail bed, and obviously took a decent chunk of flesh from the inner part of my thumb as well. And I threw myself onto the veranda and I was like, oh, I've chopped my thumb off. I thought I'd chopped my thumb off. I was too scared to look at it. I saw the chunk of my fingernail and my flesh, this top part, on the ground, and I was like, no. So anyway, it took ages before I could take my hand away to reveal to myself what I had done. But even when I had this hand clasped over my thumb, there was blood, and it was literally ripping down my, pouring. And then I had to create myself bandages and swads and things like this. I lived miles and miles away. There's no doctor. You have to look after yourself. And it took months and months. And whenever I brought my example, if I was going to say pick up this camera and I brought my thumb near towards the camera, it would just start trembling. It would just shake so much. It had its own mind, nervous system, things like that. Whenever I brought it too near something, it gave me the signal that you're too close. Like the aura around my thumb was quite big to let me know, don't hurt me. And it took a long time to heal. And the nail bed, everything had to heal. All this pad had to grow back. And I have a completely healed thumb. It completely 100% healed itself through the duration of time. It used to be very itchy and things like that. I had to go through quite a process, but that's a process that it went through naturally. No. Another reason why I know our body is incredible and can heal. Now, I'll share that story with you also. Because I work in physical labor trades, painting, decorating, building, even landscaping, these things, there is many times where you bleed. So I know how much the body bleeds, plus I've had 4 children. They have had accidents, and I've seen blood. Okay, so what I'm showing you here in this image is the recent... Now, I want you to look at the shirt collar. The shirt collar. Can you see what I see? Where's the blood? Why is there no blood on his collar? And not only that, but this is the arm that went up to his ear. And look at the cuff of his shirt. Look at his hand. Can you see what's missing there? And this image with his hand up, that hand that is in the ear is the hand that... Where am I? How do I do it? Try like this. Yep. Go like this. Oh, guys, I'm getting good at this. Can you see what's going on with that cuff? That is the hand that he grabbed his ear with. Look at that hand. Right, now, here's the hand that he grabbed his ear with as well, or put over his ear. Look at his shirt. Now, not only that, I'll get rid of... I just want to quickly go down. I've got some couple of good stories I want to show you today. And what I'm talking about today is Satan's little season. Oh, maybe I didn't get it on. I forgot. It's on my phone, and it's like a bronze of Trump, you know, with his... and the others that are around him and stuff, and they're like, wouldn't this be a great bronze to have at the White House? Do you think so? Is that how easily fooled everyone is? Okay, so I want to talk about the lies and the deception and people that create them and what's their agenda. And, well, let's just stick to the politics. But many years ago, there was this amazing guy, Jesus Ben Pantera. His father was taken to Germany and he died there, so he didn't really get to know his dad. But he did know his mum. And he was an incredible man. He was a son of man. He wasn't a son of God. He told everybody, I'm a son of man. Because as we all know, sons of gods are giants. They have the mixed genealogy, and he was the one who first spoke correctly. Now, back when he was alive, before this terrible evil that befell the area where the Israelites and the Judeans lived, Rome had taken over the province. It named Judah, the province of Judah, and the other was the province of Samaria. And Jesus came from Galilee, which is by Samaria. He was a Samaritan, okay? So we're talking about in the day that he was living. Now, when because there was a rebellion, so there's a lot of people that didn't like the Romans taking over. And I'm telling you this story because it's going to happen again in our lifetime, especially for you guys in America, but the whole world is going to be affected by this. And we've got another takeover that's trying to take place. It's another revolution and the new empire. So back in the day of Jesus, they had a rebellion in Galilee, and the Zealots and the Sicarii were the fighters, and they rebelled, and only because, first of all, Jesus wasn't a Essene, he wasn't a Jew, and his cousin, excuse the rain, hope you enjoy it, and his cousin John was also in Essene, and they were prophesying about the reign of the Romans and how devastating it was going to be for the people, and that a war was coming. Now, I don't know how they got their knowledge, but the fact is they did. Herod was, he'd sort of like sold his soul to the Romans, and they had to talk in code a little bit, Jesus and the boys, because, people wanted to kill Jesus all the time, everyone, even the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and, excuse the heaviness of the rain, isn't it gorgeous? Now, what was going on was when they whipped Jesus and tried to get him to say that he was the king of the Jews and all this sort of, stuff, and then put him on the cross, teach him a lesson. They nailed him, okay? They nailed him to teach everyone a lesson, not to try and come against the Romans and stuff. The people in Galilee went absolutely crazy, and they had a massive riot and set fire to Rome, and Nero killed himself, okay? That's what happened. And then Jesus actually survived, and he said to the boys and everyone that he'd come back for them, told them to get out of Jerusalem and get out into the desert that's by the Dead Sea, and that he would come back for them, okay? Now, I will read you the scripture. So there's three of them, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, I think. But this one is what I've got here. Oh, I've done that again. Verily I say to thee, some of you will not die before I come back, okay? Something very similar to that. Let me just get the passage that we have here. It's literally devastating what I'm going to show you. So, truly I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death until they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. And what is his kingdom? I'm just going to jump ahead. I'm going to show you what Jesus was talking about. There it is. He was talking about a Vimana, and they had a stack of them in India. It's a flying palace, and you can fly in them, and I'm not joking you. And here we go in the first revolution, which of course was most devastating to France. Here we have in Paris. I'm going to try to, there we go, look at that clarity. And as we can see down here, we have some people, okay? So they're traveling, that's helium, that guy. He's a helium balloon. Now, and that's how Isis came back. He came back in this kind of that's how he left, and that's how he came back. I'm going to show you Qumran, which is where they found what they call the Dead Sea Scrolls. So in 1947, while World War II was going off, they happened to find Dead Sea Scrolls. They told a big lie. They were like, oh, there's these caves. They're in the middle of nowhere. And this guy was out with his goats, and he threw a stone and he fell in, and boom, there they were. It's actually quite a big lie, isn't it? But we were all fooled by it for a while. You know why? Because we knew no better. But now we've got photographs, and as you can see in this image, 1, 2, 3. Alright, I'm showing you some entrances. Obviously we've got a lot of destruction that's happened in this region. Now, as we can see, what we're looking at here is like windows, and that's like a rooftop, isn't it? There's some sort of a structure, very square, coming along and down and over there. It's got some windows in it too. And here's some tourists over there. They are. This is a bunch of tourists looking over into this area here from that distance. So they stuck with the cave story for a while until it got to the point where, so they found that, and then they're like, move in the Israelites, we're giving them this land. They can have their land back. Everyone's, yay! Now, who were the Essenes? Now, they had a big area. It's literally blasted to zeroness. So that's a big area there. This is the caves that we were looking at over here. So we're calling them caves, okay? At this point, because that's what they were first told to us as. And in this archaeological area, we see the little things like this going down here. And it's a beauty close up, this one, isn't it? Oh, excuse me. There's their floor plan. Oops. You see their floor plan here? What have I got? I've got a light problem going on. There we go. And okay. It reminds me of Masada. Why have I got so much light going on here? Okay, Masada. Those caves that I was explaining, that we call them caves, are probably like this here at Masada. Okay. Now, Masada was on a plateau. There we go. Distortion of light. If I just try, oops. See if it helps in some way. Oh my goodness. Sorry everyone, hope you're still there. Hope you're still watching. Just try to dim it this side of the story, maybe that helps. Let's see if it did. Not really. Okay, so now Masada, as I said, was a plateau. Here it is. The official story is that the Romans chucked all that dirt there. Can you believe that story? It's massive, isn't it? And obviously it's a huge lie. And as we can see, what we're looking at is an ancient tree stump. It's Masada. I don't know why everything's so blurry tonight, and I'm so sorry about it. And oops, back to Qumran. Look at this. They would have had some great looking places here, and the archaeological findings. So there's the floor plan, and the blue is the water areas. That's where the Dead Sea Scrolls were. Then we have our artists' impression of the structure. See if they've got their fruit trees down here on the other side there as well. And the blue in the background is the Dead Sea, which is where they were getting the salt from. So of course, back in that time there was probably more trees as well, because we know in the story of Masada that the Romans chopped all the trees down. And I've looked at other salt lakes, and we can see that trees do grow around the area quite proficiently, just not right on the seabed, which is quite normal. And they were 2-story areas, and the thing was flattened so much that the whole first floor dropped on top of the second floor. But luckily, all the scriptures were on the high floor, the top floor. So when everything fell, they actually fell on top of the bottom floor, and that's why they were easily found. And here's all the water areas. So they had themselves quite a nice place, the Essenes. They weren't living like a bunch of Neanderthals in the caves. They created themselves a very nice place, waiting for Jesus. Well, they had it before. Remember Jesus? He was an Essene, so he used to go there. But, so he came back and he got the guys with the Vimana, and he brought them to his area that he was staying, which is sort of like in between Pakistan and Afghanistan. There's a place, and I'll show you one day. Now this is just a where was this one again? Sumeria. This is in Sumeria, showing a little flying object here. It looks like a UFO. Yes, it does. And of course we have in Seti the first's tomb, and we all know who Seti is, don't we? Seti, Seth. And we've got ourselves a helicopter here, and we've got a plane or a boat. We've got another plane down there. It's got a big wing, a big tail on that one. We've got some other flying plane right there. So there's a bit of stuff going on in Seti's day. Now, he's not the only one, of course, because in India, why is the brightness so bright? Please excuse this. We have the people down here. Then we've got the carriage with the wheels and on the horse, and then we've got the Vimana flying in the sky up here. So here's another one, another India with the Vimana flying. Oh, look at the Vimana flying in the sky. Oh my goodness gracious me. See that? It's like a house, isn't it? It's like a tent. And now, the history with the Bible is that Zeus Pantera was the only one that ascended to the heavenly realm, had to talk to, I don't know, the creator perhaps, I'm not sure, it's just his father in heaven, Abba, he called him, and his father gave him 1,000 years of peace to reign upon the earth, okay? So the Satan was locked up in a bottomless pit. An angel came down and locked him in. These are all in the book of Revelation, written by John, which I believe is John the Baptist. And John the Baptist had the vision before he was beheaded by Herod, leading up to everything terrible that happened. So the whole world, every time I have had a past, I did this thing called past life. I don't know what to call it. I call it, what did I call it? But it's like I go into a past life. The world was full of this, okay? And every past life that I've stepped into has been very beautiful, like any of those old World Fair photos. So I'm showing them. That's Chicago World Fair. To let you know that every time I did a past life visit, I was in a realm that was so beautiful. Now, how did it work? Well, I can't really explain it, but I can do this. So how it works is photos go flicking past really fast like that. Did that show? I'll do it one more time. Try it here. It's like everything goes in place. I walk towards a door. Sometimes I have a spirit animal that joins me to the side and we go through. And then I go through the door and then everything goes like this. And that is photos of different places or whatever. And then I step in, and then once I step in, bam, I'm in that position, in that place. Okay, so that's how my past life stuff happened, when I went into a past life through my own DNA. I'm not interested in anyone else's, just my own. I wanted to know who I am. Know thyself. It was an incredibly beautiful world. It was incredibly beautiful. and it was old. And some countries still have it, like Moscow or the some areas in Russia, Belarus, all sorts of areas have their still have their old stuff. America had a lot, but America put everything through a great fire, and so did Germany and France, of course, which was extremely beautiful as well. Now, okay, so I'm just going to jump ahead about this. It's just a Revelations thing that started going through my mind quite a lot. And so the destroyers, so Jesus had 1,000 years. And also my other favourite place on earth would have been what is called Constantinople, Byzantium, the Golden Age. And that was a reign of 1,000 years of peace on earth. And then the Satan was let loose, and he was supposed to have a small season, but I think he's extended himself quite a lot. I think he's gone overboard a little bit, and that's why I'm going to end the Kali Yuga, because I've had enough. Okay, so good. Here it is, the bronze. It was on my camera. Would you look at that? And I want you to see, there's a Elvis thing going on here again. What is that? You know why? Well, this is just my own theory here. But you know why? Because everyone loves Elvis. So there is a little bit of some sort of a common thing. And also another thing about Trump is that he has the word Christ as a name in his family. It came from the grandmother's great-grandmother. And came down through the bloodline. So if there's such a thing as the Antichrist, I just want you to think about it. How many people do we know have the name Christ as a family name? Now, if you were going to fool the world, you know what I'm saying? You know what I am saying. If I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, so that where I am, you may be there also. He's like, you guys are my mates, you're my bros. I am not going to leave you. I'm going to come back and get you before the destruction of Masada and Qumran happens. That, my darlings, is a plateau. And hopefully we've all been working hard on our plateau. So this is the year of the dragon. The bad guys are using it as, the devil's, the Satan year of Satan winning. Next year's the year of the snake, and something about the snake shedding its skin, okay? And I'm telling you now, they're taking everything they can. They're using it for evil. Now, this little dude here, everybody knows, is Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson heavily wrapped up with P. Diddy. Why he's still around, I don't know. But terrible, terrible things. He has done terrible things. Now, I heard someone say that you're not yourself when you're triggered. You become who you think you need to be to survive. If we remain in environments that trigger our fight or flight mode, our identity starts to slip away because our values and personalities are constantly being hijacked by thoughts of fear, panic, and survival. So our soul, they're trying to rip our soul from us. Please, I know what it is. I've already went through it, and I don't want to go through it again. Whew. I was young then, and and I want everybody else to make it through successfully. So because I do want that. So anyway, it was so hard to put anything near my thumb, anything at all. It was really, 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 really hard. And I had to keep it way up high in the air, and all sorts of weird stuff was going on back then. Now, I wanted to share with you something. I always do this, and that's divide the face in half so that I can read it properly. It's just a thing I do. I'm not going to put an assumption in words yet. I just want you to pay attention to what I see. Yeah. So the RNC, the Republican National Convention, for some reason, I'm reading this speech because it was too long for me to watch it. I am not American. Now, has anyone ever seen The Silence of the Lambs? Oops. Here we go. Now, this was in his speech, okay? Now I'm going to reduce it with the hope that it is clarifying. Can you read that? I hope it's clear. If I got the angle wrong. The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man. He oftentimes would have a friend for dinner. Remember the last scene? Excuse me, I'm about to have a friend for dinner. As his poor doctor walked by. I'm about to have a friend for dinner. But Hannibal Lecter, congratulations. The late, great Hannibal Lecter, Trump said. Now, then, he said, we have people that have been released into our country that we don't want in our country. And they're coming in totally unchecked, totally unvetted, and we can't let this happen. They're destroying our country. No, they're not. And I think you should need to remember that your country is you stole it from the Indians, who had been living there for hundreds of years at least since the Mongol invasion, which all those beautiful things were built, and beyond, before that, with all the beautiful things that happened in the 1,000-year reign of the Lord, our Saviour and Saviour of the world. Now, moving along, there was a wonderful, absolutely gorgeous man, and he was doing this movie. Now, his name was David Crowley, and he had been to Iraq and Afghanistan. He was a Marine, and he thought he was doing good stuff for America. He was, America, fuck yeah, da-da-da-da-da, save the motherfucking day, yeah. You know how you guys do it. Well, and then when he was there, he was like, what? We what? We do this, we do that? Who are we? Not only that, a bunch of CIA guys, like 107 and lots of other ones, a little bunch of them, probably Vincent and so on and so forth, who were in Iraq and Afghanistan too, probably killed some people and did bad things. Julian Assange tried to let us know what happened. We all know what happened to Julian. Well, He's lucky to be alive because they murdered this one. They murdered David and his wife and his beautiful little daughter. Then they tried to say that it was murder-suicide. He was doing the movie and, it was just too much for him. He flipped out. He went mental and killed his beautiful family and himself. Do you believe that? Because it's absolutely not true. They're trying to put it down to a mental illness, which of course he didn't have a mental illness at all. But someone found out what he was doing, someone close to him, because he was a follower of Paul Rand, I think it is, and or Rand Paul. He thought he was a great guy, and I found out that Rand Paul probably is the one behind Bitcoin. Started all that, wasn't a good guy at all, and he probably found that out too. So it's like, who did murder him? Not only that, they stole his movie and called it Grey State and made it completely about something completely not what he was trying to show you. And he was trying to show you that the government was trying to create a worldwide martial law, lock us all down. Now, someone had one of those Q posts and I photographed it. The shot heard around the world. Even in Uganda, where one is Savin's little children that he's looking after are. What are the odds? Now, back when the C-19 was going down, we had this sort of like, it was a vote in New Zealand. It was like, do you guys want to have marijuana legalized, or do you want to have euthanasia legalized? And the country that we are and the people that we are, we all would have said we want marijuana legalized because that's us. But apparently we wanted euthanasia legalized because that's what happened. Now, on I think it's called India Today, a news station I watch, ta-da! The euthanasia pod. So lots and lots of people, they were the remote viewers. They were like, oh yes, they're making these pods. Oh, they're going to be the pods that save people and they're going to heal them and all that. I think it's euthanasia pods, guys. You might have thought they were healing pods, but apparently they're not. Here's the transcript. Futuristic looking contraption meant to assist suicide. Once a person climbs into it, nitrogen gas will be released, oxygen will be eliminated, and within minutes the person will die, all at the cost of just $20. It is the very definition of dystopian. That's the pod, so they'll be making literally thousands of those. Oh, goodness. Everything that happens gets photographed. You know why? For blackmail purposes. Not only that, but there's some other reason. I can't remember what it is though. So sorry. I've spoken about Masada and the Essenes area. I have spoken about as well, and the Vimana I have spoken about. Now we are coming into, this is the oldest image. Now what have I got here? Blee, blee, blee. This is the Last Judgment, it says. Okay, so So there was 1,000 years of peace, and then the devil the Satan had to come out again, right? And, destroy everything, because that's literally what he's doing. The fallen angels and stuff, they're all about the destruction. Now, this is the first image ever the oldest that we've found, okay? So, this is Revelations here. And we've got this beast that came out the sea, and that black thing is a frog. And then we've got the dragon beast. And there he is there with his wings and stuff. He's only got 2 big legs there. He's more like a sort of Tyrannosaurus Rex. And then we've got the other beast, the one that fools the people. So his horns are blue. They're just little rolled up ones. He's got a big nose there. And his frog's coming out his mouth. And he's got like cloven feet and cloven hands. Okay? So this is and a frog coming out of his mouth. So that was the original. Now, the original is because there's been different times. That's probably, I don't know when it is, but no. And then when the Normans, the French division, was taking over the world there. Ta-da! See the fleur de, oops, no, did it backwards. Fleur de lis here. The lily is showing that this beast is the French, you see. And, oops, sorry, not me, you don't want to see me. And then, let's work it. Oh my gosh, why can't I do this all of a sudden? Oh, that's all I've got. Oh, what am I doing? I'm just trying to show you the beast. And then what do we have? He was deceiving the people. Now, as the future moves advancing, we've got another one here, tapestry. This is a painting as well. Looks about 15th century. So this is the start of the getting into the bad guys, you know what I'm saying? So here we are, look at the dragon, the beast. He's got 4 legs now. He's sitting on top of the beast of the sea, okay? There's the frogs coming out of their mouths there. And here's our little devil guy. The bottom of him is sort of covered up, it's concealed. And now we notice that it's got these kind of horns, okay? Right, so his little horns have changed. And he's got those big lips like that. He's got a frog coming out his mouth. Now, of course we're, 20th century now, so, people are getting better at, they've had a bit of practice, and here's the beast that comes out of the sea. Roar! It's really scary. And then here's the dragon. Oh, wow, look at that dragon. He's real scary too. He's a super dragon. He's, look at that. So scary. And then over here, here's all the people. Yay! Clap, clap, clap. These are all the people. Oh, you're so clever, Antichrist. Yay, we will follow you. And doop, doop, doop. And he is a beast as well. He's supposed to have a frog coming out of his mouth, but looks like he's got some weird stuff coming out of his mouth there. Fooling the people. And then our beautiful reality of the old days. Now, remember the other bit when I was saying that when Trump came out, he was having this weird speech about Hannibal Lecter? It's a weird guy he is. And I was like, what? Do frogs eat frogs? Apparently, if you're looking for your reptilians, you're thinking that they're all lizards and stuff. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're frogs. Oh, look, it's just going to go there. And somebody else thinks so. Moving along. What does this one say? Do frogs eat other frogs? That's right. That's the question. Also, during an interview, Elon Musk. Okay. And so they're saying it's a hair transplant, okay? They're like, if I could give you anything in the world and all you have to do is follow me, you will have it all, millions, blah, blah, blah. All you have to do is follow me. What is it that you want? He's like, I only want one thing. And apparently he was going to have a cage fight, remember? When he was going to do that. Anyway. Genetically engineered cat girls are possible. But we lack the funding. Mm-hmm. So, oh, battery low. Okay. And person of the year. Just can't go wrong. I was wondering, the three frogs, spirits, and I thought about this one because very walking boys, rain dogs. But perhaps it's not. Perhaps it's this guy instead. There's just something about it, isn't there? I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's an android or something like that. You know, I have no idea. I mean, they go through the aging process. Anyway, here they are, the two of them at the, if I was you, America, what does this one say? Massive crowd in Michigan. And you know what? Here it is. Because the majority of food. Here they all are. Just literally gazillions once more. They're all gonna vote for Trump. So I've just about run out of battery, and we've got a lot of weird stuff that's going to go down. We've got Kim Clement, who was a prophet back in the day, and I've got it on my phone. But you know what? If you were the Dark Lord and you were able to go back through time, then you would certainly do it so that you can set things in place back further in time, to come forward in time to meet this day and have it all masterfully fall your way. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that all time travelers are bad, because I'm a believer in the power of good, and also I'm a believer in spontaneity, and spontaneity will always win over people's malicious planned attacks. If you are quick with your wits, you will survive. I want you to listen to your intuition, trust your gut, and follow your psyche. That is your greatest powers through this phase. You really have to know yourself, get in tune with yourself, and follow your guidance given to you. If you're a mama, grab your babies and go. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait around. Don't be like, oh, everybody says I'm just being silly. So what if you are? Do what you feel is the right thing to do. If people call you crazy, so freaking what? People called me crazy, but look, I managed to save my kids. They know how to do many survival skills, and I might have been ahead of my time. I was preparing already. I was very concerned about it when I had children, and so I was sort of like in preparation mode back in the 90s, and I came back home, and I have never left ever. I'm never going to go. I'm staying here forever because I already know. So some of us do and some of us don't, but I am sending you my love. I would love you to embrace it, be strengthened by it, use it to move you into safe, strong positions in life, boundaries. Yes, it'd be wonderful if we could save everyone, but we must think of ourselves and our children first, and whatever is the importance for ourselves is priority at this time during these 2 years, 24, 25, okay? Because we're dealing with bad guys. So, like, fully in your face. It's going to be fully in your face. Jesus is our Saviour, and Shiva is my Lord. So, Jesus is also my Saviour, but Shiva is my Lord. And I hope you know who your Lord is too. I love you all. Ka kite.